Hello again. Okay, so this video is, well, hello again because if you watched the other videos, but if you haven't, hi, I'm Stephanie. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to talk about Isagenix, a little bit about how I started using it, how I got into it, and how it has become a part of my business. Because my team is growing pretty quickly right now, and I have a lot of people who are asking me, how can I do what you do? So first, okay, so I'm just going to start over, like maybe you don't know me, I'll give you a brief from the beginning. All right, so my name is Stephanie Keenan, and if you're watching this video, there is a 99.9% chance that you are in my downline somewhere. So somehow you're connected to me through Isagenix, whether it was somebody you signed up under me or somebody signed you up under them, and then they're within my downline. So it's this whole team thing, and within this email, you're also going to see that there is a link for how the compensation plan works. So we'll get to that part later. But anyway, so I'm Stephanie Keenan. A little brief history on me. I grew up in Kansas City. I went to college in Tampa. I joined the Navy because I spent my way right into the Navy and right out of college. I didn't have a lot of money in college. I was paying for my own way. I wanted to be an engineer. I couldn't afford to take classes 4 or 5 days a week, so I finished all my prereqs at a couple years, and so I had to do something else, and I met somebody else who had been in the Navy's nuclear program, and they pay you to go to school and give you a job. So I thought, awesome, sign me up. Yeah, so best and worst years of my life. I'm so glad I did it, but it was really, really, really hard. So once I enlisted in the Navy, I came here to Charleston to go to nuke school. This is where all of the nuke training is, right here. So I was here for a couple years, and then I got stationed on an aircraft carrier, the Abraham Lincoln, in Seattle. So I moved out to Seattle for a few years. Once I got out of the Navy, came back here to Charleston, spent a couple more, 2-3 years here, moved up to Philadelphia for about 4 years. Once I got out of the Navy, I worked as a defense contractor, not within the nuclear industry anymore, but just within defense contracting. So I was exposed to a lot of different things and worked with the Air Force a lot and still with the Navy and some Army. So I did that. And while I was doing that, I was quite miserable. I am not meant to sit in a cubicle at all. I don't know how I got through nuke school, honestly. Anyway, so I was doing that, and I also read the book The 4-Hour Workweek back in 2007, and so I always had like this little thing going on in the back of my mind, and I knew that I wanted to do something that I could have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. Those were my biggest things. So, and I wanted to enjoy what I did and provide value and feel fulfilled, and what I was doing as a contractor was good, and it was really good money, but I didn't feel fulfilled at all. I felt bored, stale. Yeah, it wasn't good, actually. It was quite a dark time in my life. But anyway, so I used that pain, though, to kind of figure some other stuff out. During that time, I started doing fitness competitions. So I actually got my personal training certification in 2006 when I got out of the Navy. I didn't really do too much with it as far as training other people. I mean, I got certified in all kinds of stuff, some nutritional certifications, pre and postnatal, turbo kick, and I didn't know any of it. But what I did start doing was training for fitness competitions. So physique in particular. So I competed in the figure category and in the bikini fitness model kind of category. So anyway, I started doing that. That was my hobby. It was my passion. I really enjoyed it. After competing for a few years, I actually ended up started coaching for my competitive fitness team. So during this time, my coach said no, absolutely no supplements, other than like a multivitamin. She hadn't really seen anything that was worth any money. And to be honest, if you're a physique competitor, your nutrition shows up on the stage, and it shows up in your skin, and it shows up in the conditioning of how your body looks. So for me, my lower body is my biggest challenge, so it would show up like cellulite, not like cellulite, it would show up cellulite. So she just really hadn't found anything that was that had really good, solid nutritional value to it that our bodies would use and that we would look good with. So for years, no. Don't use protein powders. Don't use anything outside of your vitamins and just good fats. So really, just solid nutrition. So then that was in, let's see, I started competing. So I started training in 2007. Started competing in 2008. In 2010, I was at a competition in Miami, Florida, and Lori Harder, so she's in the upline too, and I'll get to that when I explain the business piece. But Lori Harder and I started competing right around the exact same time. I think she had done one competition before me, before we met at a different competition. Anyway, so she shows up to this big competition that we show up to every year in Florida, and she looks amazing. Like, I've never seen her look so good. So we were staying at the same hotel, and her was her client at the time, Holly DeMont, which is also up there in the Isagenix pipeline above us. Um, she just started talking about how she started using Isagenix. And of course, she didn't want to say anything because our coach, we had the same coach, we don't use that stuff, right? So she was like, but Steph, really, that's why I look the way I do. I've never recovered faster than I've recovered. I've never had so few cravings. And I mean, seriously, like her she just glowed. It was amazing. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, why not give it a try, right? So again, like I didn't really think like these pills and powders would actually do that much. I was like, okay, so now I can replace a meal, and that'll make it more convenient than trying to fit 6 meals into my day because I was kind of tired of cooking at that point. So anyway, start just using the shakes and the vitamins. I think I ordered a couple of the athletes packs, so I had some bars in there and some Ionic Supreme. But my main things that I was using was the shakes as meal replacements, so it's the isolane shakes, and then the vitamins, so the Ageless Essentials, and then eventually when it came out with Product B, I started using Ageless Essentials with Product B. So that's what I used for about the first year, and within that first year, then our coach came out and said, hey, I've had a lot of my top girls using this. I've had a lot of my top girls using these products, and they're actually really good. So we're going to start using them. So my whole competitive fitness team started using them. Once I started using them for competition prep, it was a complete and total game changer. Normally, getting ready for a competition, I was kind of out of commission. I mean, literally, like I don't know how I really was doing my job. Like I wasn't really functioning on all levels. Once I started using the products, I really got much better at just life, and the prep got easier, and my cravings were really just gone. So anyway, that's when I started using it. Was 2010. 1 year later, I saw Chris and Lori again in Miami. Same competition. Now we're all looking fabulous and feeling great. And they said, oh, hey, by the way, you could actually make some money from this. And I didn't really understand how. So they showed me the tree, the placement tree, and showed me how many people I have under me. And in that first year, I think I had something like 600 people under me or something like that. That leg, it's the fastest growing leg in the whole company. So that really built up quickly, and so then I watched the compensation plan video, and I thought, well, that's silly. It's so simple, and people are always asking me what I do, what I take, or what do I order, just for. I mean, they're just because I'm in fitness, so they always would ask me. So once I figured out, oh, and I can make money from it, I was like, well, why not? So I started sharing it that way. So then if somebody wanted to order it, they could order it from me. And I immediately made, I think my first 2 months were like $400 a month. So totally paid for my products that I was using. And then it just continued to grow from there. So that was in 2010, 2011. I started coaching competitively using these products. Within the coaching that I was doing, I was still using it. By this time, all of my friends and family were using it. I still didn't say too much about it though. And then I launched my online fitness business in January of 2012. So when I launched that, I still had Isagenix incorporated into that, which made my business grow even more. And at that point, I also was able to quit my defense contracting job and do fitness full time. So a lot of people do ask me, how do I do what I do? How do you live the life that you live? Because I do have a very flexible schedule. I don't know if you can see a Plasma right here. He's a little wet because I took him paddle boarding this morning, so it was a sunrise paddle. And I am in my uniform for the day because this is what I work in if I want. Been doing a lot more networking meetings, so I do get blessed. But I just spend my time coaching calls, making videos, answering questions. That's really where I spend most of my time now. And then actually, I think it's quite appropriate because anything but cardio. I don't like cardio very much at all. And once I started using Isagenix, I went from having to do cardio about 5 days a week and about 15 minutes each time to really I do my high intensity interval training that I create for my members, my members, my clients. So I'll do that once a week just to do it, to test it out. And then maybe like some stand-up paddle or walk the bridge or something like that. Like that's my steady cardio. So I went from 5 days a week of 50 minutes to just that. And I know so much of that has to do with my nutrition. So anyway, that's kind of my brief history on Isagenix, how I got into it, and then who got me into it. So I'm also including some links in this email so that you can follow along with Holly DeMott, Lori Harder, Chris Harder. Those guys are above all of us. They're the ones that got me into it. They offer a lot of really awesome training and resources. I'm starting to do more training for just our team. There's so much great information out there, and there's so many ways that you can get to this. Some people choose to do more of the home approach, so they have nutritional parties at their houses and they educate people on how to use the products. So I have not had one at my house, but I've gone to other people's houses and presented there. So that's really fun. And something else that I've seen people do is to have several products on hand because people want to be able to take it home and try it immediately. And so what some people will do is they'll buy it at wholesale and then they'll sell it at the retail price at their homes and then print up, this is you, Angie, it was such a great idea. Then they print up labels that has ordering information that they'll include on the packaging. So if somebody wants to order it later, then they know right where to go to order it. The other thing that I think is really, really beneficial is the auto ship. So I always like to change things up, but I have certain things that I keep on my auto ship. Like I keep my vitamins on my auto ship because I take those every day and I will run out at the end of the month. And then I kind of live on the Isagenix isolane shakes. So I have 1 to 3 shakes every day. And so I keep the everyday shake pack. I don't know. I get 4 canisters of shakes every single month because I consume at least that much. So those are on my auto ship. And then from there, I kind of change around. And then you'll also see too where I started using the cleanse. So I guess maybe I didn't put that on auto ship, but I should. Because I do the cleanse about once a week. I'll do it usually on Mondays because then it gets rid of any of like the holiday fun or weekend fun that I had. You know, if I had desserts or treats or some alcohol or whatever, if I do that on Monday, then it really just like sets everything straight. It sets my craving straight. It sets my portion control straight. Usually Mondays are kind of crazy for me, so food isn't really on my mind. I'm just busy doing other stuff. So the fact that I just get a few snacks and then I drink the cleanse and a bunch of water, that's actually very easy for me. So that's really how I use it. Let's see, what else did I do? Those are the main things because I think it's interesting to see how everybody got into Isagenix and what they do with it. Oh, that's right. So I was saying some people do home parties. And then this is kind of more of the approach that I'm taking just because my time is so limited and I want to make the biggest impact. And as a business owner, I've talked to a few different like chiropractors' offices where they have a nutritional supplement in their office, but they have to maintain the inventory. And as a business owner, maintaining inventory and dealing with that is, that's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of extra money. For Isagenix, it's really cool. Like you can just have people order it that way, and you're not having to maintain inventory. You don't have to keep track of that stuff. Obviously, you have some on hand to sell at retail value, but it's just so much better. And then you can just make it's the residual income off of that. And some people have a problem with multi-level marketing. This is my first experience with it, so I really didn't know anything about it. But some people are like, oh, well, that's a pyramid scheme. Well, actually, every corporation is because you have a boss at the top, right? But really, what's the difference between just passing out your link to sell some Isagenix versus selling it at retail, buying at wholesale, selling at retail, you're still selling something. So really the business model just makes so much more sense than just selling some kind of retail product because you don't make anything residual off that. So financially, it just makes so much more sense. And I've included the link for the comp plan. And once you watch the video and you understand what the potential is here and how truly everybody wins, it's just everything about it is amazing. Everybody wins. We're all in a team. We're going to start doing more stuff as a team. Like I said, I have this online business, and this has really taken me a lot to kind of get that really squared away. So now I have a little more time to dedicate to the training and focus on helping other people who are on our team build businesses. And so those are really the main points that I wanted to cover. I guess one more thing is really to kind of tie it all together with your vision and what you're looking for. So when I quit my 9-to-5 job, I knew I didn't want to have another job that was dollar per hour. So I always keep that in the back of my mind. And I'm very clear on what my goals are. And I want to have time freedom, which I do have because I can do it anytime I want to. I still have to dedicate a lot of time to building small businesses and running everything, even though like on social media it looks like I just like play with cookies and paddleboard and stuff, but I work a lot actually. So there's the time freedom, the location freedom. Obviously I can do it from anywhere. I went from Philadelphia, quit my job, moved to Costa Rica, back to Philly for a little bit, now Charleston. So that's location freedom, which you can do with Isagenix totally. Then there was also the financial freedom, and so all of that income, the residual income, everything's been building under me. So I've been doing this since 2010, and so I don't even push it that hard. I'm going to start really focusing more on what can build a business faster, better. But really, it's just I've been put in the system, and it's in place, and I keep ordering, and I use it, and when people ask, I tell them about it. So something that Chris and Lori and Holly have always said, if you're going to treat it like a hobby, you're going to make money like a hobby. But if you treat it like a business, you will make money like a business. And it's crazy how directly proportional it is. So you apply pressure and you get results. And it's really, especially for somebody who, I like to see results. And it's fun, and I have goals set, and then you kind of knock them down. Which, even if I were doing this as a corporate worker, it would be fulfilling on the outside of that corporate work because it's goal setting and really achieving things and getting compensated for the effort that you put in. So time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and it comes down to your vision. So I knew too when I was so miserable in my corporate job, which was silly because I worked with amazing people. I worked for amazing people, and I had a great facility that I worked in. I just wasn't happy. But I knew one of the things that I put on my vision board was that I wanted to walk Cosmo every morning and be able to take him to the dog park and just have more freedom like that. So that's really where my vision board started. It was and if you watch or listen to Danielle Laporte, it's your core desired feelings. So I had these core things that I wanted to do, just like the cardio. I don't really want to do cardio, so how can I get around doing cardio? And so you come up with these things like what's my real, what's really what I want out of this, and then you kind of build everything else around it. So that's just a little introduction. We're going to have a lot more calls and webinars and videos, and I'll share more resources with you all. But I just wanted to give a little insight into how I got introduced to it and how I use it, because I think that story is different for every single person. So it's nice to get to know y'all.